Hello everybody, thank you for joining me again today. I'm Lee from thecraftyspark.co.uk and today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to make an explosion card. Now, I originally saw this card, where I see most of my cards actually, on Amanda Bates's blog. Now, she's at www.thecraftyspark.co.uk. If you want to go look it up, I suggest you do, because her work is amazing. She does some really great things, and I saw this card on her blog I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah, it was about a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I really like that, I'm going to make one of them. And so far I think I've made almost 14 of them now. That's how much I like them, in various sizes. But this particular one I'm doing today is using the Lift Me Up stamp set. I love this stamp set, absolutely brilliant stamp set. And the what do you call it? The sentiment, that's what it's called. I'm going to do just a note to lift your spirits. Now this is going to be a bigger version of the ones Amanda does. Well, Amanda's probably done bigger versions herself. Hang on, I'm just putting my chair up a bit. Yeah, Amanda's probably done bigger versions anyway, but this is a bigger one that I'm quite proud of myself because I worked out how to do it. So let me show you what we've got. This is the Carried Away Designer Series paper from Sale-a-bration. Love this paper. If you haven't got it, get this paper. It is so cool. And what I've got, I'll talk you through it as I'm going along, so that if you want to make a note of all the sizes, you can do. But the first thing I've got is just a standard card base. Now this is our thick Whisper White. You need to make sure you've got quite a sturdy base, because the card itself actually ends up fairly heavy, so you want to make sure you've got good support for it. So this is the thick Whisper White, and this actual card base itself measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, nice and square. All right, put that to one side for a minute. Get your piece of Designer Series paper. Now this piece of paper, I've just realised I'm very close, aren't I? It's gone in quite a bit. Hang on, let me see if I can zoom out just a smidge. That's not much better, is it? Okay, we'll stay there though. That's good enough. That's a little bit further out. Right, bone folder. Now, this piece of Designer Series paper that I've got here, I've actually cut down to measure 11 inches by 11 inches. So it's quite a big piece. And what you do is actually really simple. First things first, you fold corner to corner, smooth it down. Now, I know there's a lot of demonstrators that don't like using bone folders on Designer Series paper. Personally, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It seems to depend on the paper itself for some reason. Maybe it's I don't know, different print companies or something. But with this one, I've been using a bone folder and I haven't had any cracking. So whatever you decide to do. But we go corner to corner, then corner to corner again. Give that a bit of a smoothie down. And then open it up. Make sure you've got it out the right way. That's important. I had balloons going sideways the other day. So get it up the right way, and then you just need to fold it in half. So top corners matching together with the top corners matching together, like that. Smooth that down. Open up, fold it again the other way, just to make sure that middle fold is quite bendy. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to lift up those sides and just pull them together. And can you see, whoops, can you see how they sort of pull it into two triangles? See that? Yeah? So you pull them together and flatten it down like that. Now when you flatten it, that is what you're ending up with. All right? So once you've got to that position, when you put it up that way, you can see where that center is. Now you could either mark that center if you wanted to, or just eyeball it. To be honest, eyeballing is fine. Take one corner and go to the middle. Make sure you're in that middle position. Flatten it down. Same on the other side. Go to the corner, take it to the middle, flatten it down, and then turn over. Do the same on the other side. Kind of in origami territory now, aren't we? Fold it over, take it to the middle, fold it over, smooth it down. Right, now open them out, and you need to do one at a time. Open it, push it in. Okay, so open it, whoops, open it up, push it in. And where you've done those creases, as you folded it over, it will push in nicely for you. Okay, look, just like that. She says, push it in. And same on the other one. So the last one, open it up, just push it in. All right, then smooth those edges down. Now this bit is quite important. You want to make sure you've got those creases in the middle nice and tight. Otherwise your card is just going to explode everywhere without you even wanting it to. Right, so we now have the explosion bit, the center mechanism. See, does that. Okay, right, sticking it in your card then. Strong adhesive, fuse is great. Now what way up does this go? Again, make sure you're up the right way. So my balloons are to the top there. So I'm going to open my card out and I'm going to stick it in like that. Yeah, right. So we put some, whoops, there was some in here when I've used it just now. There we go. Pop some nice strong adhesive. Oh dear, look, I've gone all squiffy with my fuse now. I'll sort that out in a minute. Let's use the snail instead. That'll work just as well. Right, so that needs to go up that way. Right, now when you put it in your card, sorry, keep turning around, but I have to turn it to get it in the right way. You want to come up about 1/4 of an inch and in about 1/4 of an inch. Make sure you're straight, unlike me, who is wonky. Make sure you're straight and then firm it in, all right? And then you can open it up and you'll run the right way. Okay, now before we do the next bit, we're going to put the inner panel in, okay, so that you've got something to write on. Otherwise you won't have anything to write on. Now the inner panel, I have a piece of card that measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. First thing I need to do is mark the center, which is 2 5/8. All right, then we need to go up one side and mark it at 2 3/8. Up the other side and mark that at 2 3/8. All right, so we've got 2 3/8, 2 3/8 marks on the other side, 2 5/8 mark at the top. Bring in your Stampin' trimmer, line up your pencil mark, so that's your middle one, my middle one rather. So I'm going to line up this pencil mark and this pencil mark, cut that off. Same on the other side, pencil mark, line them up in the groove of your trimmer like that, and then cut them off. All right, so we are left with that shape. Let's just get rid of those pencil marks. Could probably just turn it over actually, couldn't I? That would be the easiest thing to do. Right, let's just smooth out those edges where I've trimmed it off. I've now got a piece of the designer series paper that measures 5 by 2 1/4. Where did I put that snail? So I'm going to put that on. And I'm putting this bit on first before I do any stamping, and you'll see why in just a sec, because I'm going to do some stamping. Line that up. Yeah, it's back there. Right, the reason I did that was because I need to see, for me anyway, I need to see where that line is so I can stamp. So I'm using the small balloon and some Peekaboo Peach and some Watermelon Wonder and some Night of Navy. Now let's do Peekaboo Peach first. That's the lightest one, so that's going to go roughly in the middle. Now, being very lazy here, I'm not cleaning my stamp, I'm just blotting it on my, my paper. I'll probably get told off for doing this soon by somebody. My husband usually. Oh, look what you've done, you made a mess again, you're always making a mess. Ha! Yeah, I know. That's half the fun of crafting though, isn't it? You see, I've just gone off the edge there. Just gives it a little bit more, what's the word? Oomph. We're going for oomph. Yeah, let's go for a bit more oomph. There we go. Right, different levels. Just gives it a little bit of movement going on. You could, if you wanted to, add some clouds on there as well. I'm not going to this time though, only because I've left my ink all around the other side of the room and I can't find it. So, never mind. Right, now on top of there, I want a panel, which I've got somewhere, there it is, that measures, what does this measure? This measures 4 7/8 by 2 1/8. Because I only want a very, very small edge. You'll see why in just a minute. Is when I put my panel on there, I just want you to be able to see just the edge of that paper, because I think that pattern can be a little bit overbearing. So I just want an edge, but I want the edge there because it just brings it all together, doesn't it? You see where you've got the Peekaboo Peach there, and we're going to put it on the card. Ooh, and you'll see how nicely it all comes together. So, bringing our card base back in, you can see where my folds are. I'm just going to line it up at the bottom. I'm coming up about about 1/8 of an inch, lined up all the way around. There we go. And that is now the panel where you can write on. All right, you've got your panel for writing there. Clouds probably would look quite nice there. If you've got clouds, well, there's clouds in the stamp set actually, isn't there? Look. Oh, my cloud's not in the stamp set. My cloud is over the other side of the room as well. Right, never mind. We'll leave those over the other side of the room. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put some balloons up here. What have I got over here? A little pile of pre-stamped stuff. Right, I have got, what should we have? Let's have one of those, one of those. What else have I got here? Oh, I can't make my mind up. I can't make my mind up. I think I'll go for one of them or one of them. How about that? Yeah, that'd be quite nice, won't it? Now, when you look at this particular paper, the Peekaboo Peach jumps out quite a lot. And because of that, I'm actually going to put my clouds staggered. Peekaboo Peach on first, then Watermelon Wonder, and that is going to overlap it. All right, just takes away some of the glare, if you like. Little one as well. Put that one there. And if you were using one of the other papers as the inside, you could actually put some clouds on here as well. In fact, you know what? I think I will, because I've got some hanging around here. These are just ones that I die cut earlier for something else that I'm doing. Huh? Oh yeah, you've got to put it up the right way, haven't you? Don't put it up the right way, it doesn't work. Duh. There we go. How's that? All right, so put some of them up there, and now I can close my card up, tuck everything in, pop some more snail on that panel, the back panel, and then we can just fold it over, firm it down, and you've got your explosion. You see? It's quite neat, isn't it? Ta-da! Whoops. All right. Now we need to do the front. So for the front, I have got a piece of this paper, and this one measures, what does this measure? This is 5.5 by 5.5. That's what this one is. So that's going to go right on the front, like that. And then this one, what's this? I can't remember what this one is. Oh, this one's 5 by 5. So I've actually gone for a bigger border because I wanted you to be able to see the paper. The paper's really nice, isn't it? So 5 by 5 on this one. That sits on top. There we go, like that. Then I have a strip, 2 inches wide, full 12 inches long. And now this is going to go, lay it on, lay it around the back. This is the easiest way of doing it. Put it so that you're slightly off center, a little bit more on the right than you are on the left. Fold, whoops, fold it over. Fold the other side over. Make sure they meet, unlike mine, which isn't straight. There you go. So make sure they meet. Now I need to just put some adhesive on that edge, like that. Whoops, gone on my paper, but never mind. So pop that on there. Stick it together nicely. My balloons, I've got a die cut white one, and then I've got Peekaboo Pitch Night and Navy, and they're going to go kind of like that, I think. But before I put them on, I'm just going to do my banner. Now this is, it's Watermelon Wonder, and it's 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. So 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. I'm going to use my triple banner punch. Now because this doesn't actually fit in one of the slots on this side of the punch, I'm going to turn it over so that I can see on the back. Then I can line it up and just punch them. Oh, ran out of memory then. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Yeah, we can line it up and punch it out. So let me just show you that again. If you pop it in, make sure you're even, like that, and then just punch it out. Okay. Now, you also need a white piece, and this is 4.5 by 1 inch. So this can actually be done up this way because the 1 inch groove is on the front. I'm just checking on the back that I've pushed it right to the end. There we go. Now on here, I am going to use, whoops, basic grey and the sentiment, Lift Me Up. Let's try and get it round the right way. I've got a habit of stamping these upside down, you see. Plenty of ink on that. Yep. So roughly, not in the middle. I want to go over to the left a bit, rather than, there we go, rather than straight in the middle. I'll show you why that is. I stick this on here. Whoops. Just a little bit wonky. Let's try and get it straight, shall we? Oh dear. Ish. There, that's all right. That's good. That'll go. Right, what I want to do, I could really do with some wet glue actually, couldn't I? Oh look, there we go. Wet glue. Ta-da! I'm going to put a little bit of that on there, just on that the end bit, because what I want is I want to have that there. Now by putting that on there, I can see where I want everything else to go, because I want this banner over to the left, and then I want my big balloon, whoops, kind of there, and my other balloon, whoopsie daisy, kind of there ish. Actually, let's just move it over just a tad. That's it, so that the one of them is coming over the top. Whoops. And can you see how they're in a line now? If you were a bit worried about doing it like this, because I am doing it kind of freehand, you can always measure. You could stick one on at a time, rather than me, who's just going for it and sticking them all on in one hit. You do it as you feel is easier for you. Whoops, got a bit of glue there. Now, if I pop glue on the back of that one, and on the back of that one, they are going to hold my die cut one down. So now I can slide it off. Just check I haven't got any glue on the back, which of course I have. That's kind of mandatory, isn't it? Wipe that off before it gets all over your card. Oh, I'm like a child when it comes to glue. You should grow up a bit, shouldn't I? Do you remember when you was at school and you used to get the Copydex glue and sort of rub it all over your hands, wait for it to dry and peel it off again? Oh, I used to do that all the time. Right, let's just stick that on properly. There we go. Right, now just to finish it off, whoops, stick. Just to finish it off, I have got some enamel shapes. I'm going to use a star. In Peekaboo Peach again, stick it on there. And then that will slide, whoops, she says, will slide, come on, back on, there we go, back on the card. So there you go, there is your finished card. That ended quite quickly there, didn't it, where I did that last bit. So you have your card, which when you take your belly band off, you can open up with the explosion and write inside it. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Everything you need to make this card you will find listed underneath this video, and all the measurements will be on my blog. Alright, now the link for the blog post is also underneath this video, so if you just scroll a bit further down underneath it and you'll see it all, and then you'll be able to make your very own one as well. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again very soon.